Welcome to MES e-learning channel. In this video, we'll solve a problem on resultant of concurrent force system. On the right hand side, you can see a figure which is an eye bolt and it has been pulled out by three forces. The forces are 1000 Newton, 2000 which is inclined, and then 3000 which is also an inclined, but they are not given the angle of that forces. But instead of angle, they have given the slope of that force. That means the direction of the forces. Now we have to find out the angle, that is theta, for the 2000 force and 3000 force. Suppose if I want to find out this angle, which is in 2000, so I can draw that triangle. This is 4 by 3, 4 and 3. Okay, so now we have to find out the angle for this. This is theta 1. So to find out the angle, we know tan theta 1 will be equal to opposite by hypotenuse, that is 3 by 4. If you calculate this thing, we will get theta 1 will be equal to 36.87 degree. So while calculating, make sure that you just keep it in degree, not in radian. Now again, similarly on the left hand side also we have one more slope. We have to find out that angle as well, that is will be second. So I will just draw that triangle. Now we have to find out this angle, that is theta 2. The sides are 4 and 3. Similarly, tan theta 2 will be equal to 4 by 3 and the tan theta 2 will be equal to 53.13 degree. So now we found out the angles as well. Now try to draw this diagram in our simpler manner. So we can draw this similar diagram in this manner. We can draw the 4 quadrant. Okay. So on x axis, horizontal axis, we have a force called 1000 Newton. So you can draw a 1000 Newton force over here. This is 1000 Newton. And just now we found out the angle 1 as well, theta 1, which is 2000 Newton, for 2000 Newton. So this is 2000 Newton. The angle with horizontal x axis is 36.87 degree. And for the third force, this is also 3000 Newton. The angle is theta 2, which is 53.13 degree. Now if you see, this is a concurrent force system because all the forces passing through a single point. Now if you remember the steps to find out the resultant for this, the first step is to find out the f of x, that is summation of f of x. That means summation of f of x is nothing but sum of all the horizontal forces. Now in this systems we have horizontal force called 1000 Newton and we have two force which is inclined. So we can resolve this force. If you see the 2000 force is acting like this. So this is our x and y axis for this 2000 Newton. So this inclined force can be resolved into two components, that is x and y. So we have a theta over here. So this is making theta with x axis. So this will be your cos component, that means 2000 cos of this particular angle, that is 36.87, and this vertical will be 2000 sine of 36.87. So here the cos component will be horizontal, so we have to take this and you have to look for the sine as well. Since this 2000 is moving away from this thing, it is moving from left to right, so it will be positive. It is moving away, that means left to right the positive value. So we have to add plus 2000 cos 36.87 degree. Again we have one more inclination force, that is 3000. I'll just draw it over here. So this is a quadrant. So this is a 3000 force. Again it is inclined with the angle of 53.13. We have to resolve this inclined force. So the vertical, since it's making an angle with horizontal x axis, so this will be the component of cos, that is 3000 cos of 53.13, and the vertical component will be 3000 sine of 53.13. So this 3000 we have to include. If you see the force of this 3000, it is moving right to left. It is moving right to left. So it will be negative. So we have to take minus of 3000 cos of 53.13. So this is our equation for f of x. If you put this in the calculator and find out the value, it comes out summation of f of x is equal to 799.99, which is equal to 800 Newton. Okay. Now summation of f of x is a positive value. So the sign for this will be left to right. So we found out the summation of f of x. Now similarly we have to find out summation of f of y as well. So f of y is nothing but all the vertical force. If you see, we don't have any single vertical, so we have to go for the components of 2000 sine theta. So 2000 sine of 36.87, since it's moving bottom to top, so that is the reason we are taking it as a positive. And for the second inclination force also, we have a sine component which is moving upward. So upward means positive direction. So positive plus 3000 sine of 53 sine of 53.13, and only will get only two components. If you put it in the calculator, you find out f of y will be equal to 3600 Newton. If you see, it is also positive, so the sign will be upward. So summation of f of y is upward. Now we have to find out the resultant. To find r, that is resultant, the formula for resultant is r equal to root of summation of f of x square plus summation of f of y square. If you put this value over here, 800 square plus 3600 square, if you take the root of this thing, we get r equal to 3687.82 Newton. So resultant, we found out the resultant as well. So now this is the magnitude. Now we have to find out the theta as well, that is the direction. So theta will be equal to inclination of the resultant will be equal to inclination of resultant theta. So theta will be equal to tan inverse of, formula is summation of f of y divided by summation of f of x. So theta will be equal to tan inverse of 3600 divided by 800. So if theta will be equal to 77.47 degree. So now we have completed all the 4 steps. We found out f of x, f of y and resultant and theta. Now it's time to position it. The last step will be position of the resultant. Okay, so we have to draw the diagram as well. So we have to draw the quadrant first. If you observe, summation of f of x was positive and summation of f of y is also positive. So it will be in the first quadrant. So we have to draw the resultant in the first quadrant. So this is our resultant value r, and the theta was 77.47 degree. The resultant was 3687.822. This is y and x. So like this we can solve the concurrent force system. Thank you guys.